Welcome to the second class on Module 2 of the Basic Civil Engineering. Today we will discuss about the various construction materials. We already seen the basic, that means, and we got an introduction into the various construction materials used in the last class. So the various materials include bricks for making the brick masonry, that means the walls, and we have the cement, which is an important component in the concrete, and the concrete, which is an assemblage of cement, water, sand, and the metal. We have the sand as a individual material, reinforcement for reinforcing the concrete. You can see here the reinforcements, and the glass, plastic, wood, tiles, and the list goes on. We will see in detail these construction materials, the properties that are required by these materials, and the various tests on these materials. First, we will see the bricks. The bricks are the oldest building material. They are extensively used in construction because of its durability, strength, reliability, low cost, and the easy availability. So you know from where the bricks are obtained, right? So we will see that one. In the manufacture of the bricks, four distinct operations are present. First one is the preparation of the clay for making the bricks, then molding it to the specific shape, drying the uh, brick, and then burning for the durability and strength obtainment. So in India, the standard brick dimensions are 190 mm in length and 90 mm in thickness and the width. So this figure shows how the bricks are made. You can use a digger to extract the clay which is suitable for making the bricks. Then the clay is placed on a roller, and through the rollers these clay is passed and they are mixed with sand and water, and they are passed through the required mold. So in this case, there are two types of operations. One is a manual operation and one is a machine operation. So in the first machine operation, the clay is continuously passed through the mold, and using a wire cutter, the bricks are cut into required dimensions. In the case of manual, we are having individual molds, multiple mold, and we will be placing the brick into it. It will form a brick with minimum strength, and then we will remove the mold and we will obtain a brick of specific size. So normally this wire cutter method is more good because we will be the obtained brick will be of higher dimension stability. That means all the dimensions will be more accurate in the case of wire cutter. Here there will be some shrinkage problems which will change the volume of the bricks or dimensions of the brick. So we extracted the clay, we made the base material by combining it with water and sand. We molded it. Then we have to place it into the cooling. That means into the kiln, so in the case of kiln, uh, the bricks are stacked and then it is going in this reverse way. That means kiln is very high temperature of uh, 200 so 200 to 90 degrees Celsius is the first temperature. Then it is passed to the or it's passed to the next kiln, or the temperature is increased from 200 to 870. So it will be the bricks are highly burnt, and then it is allowed to cool for say 48 hours. That means 2 days. So after this one, the obtained brick is packaged and they are ready for the delivery. This is the figure showing the kiln. So in this one, this is not like the multiple kilns. It means we can increase the temperature from 200 to 870. So this is a real picture of a brick kiln. The bricks are classified into mainly depends on different types. One is it is classified into unburnt brick or the burnt brick. So we can see here in the kiln the bricks are burned. So the unburnt bricks, that means the bricks are dried in sun and used only for the construction of temporary and cheap structures. That means for these types of bricks, after a molding into the specific shape, they are not heated in kiln. They are just kept in the sunlight and they are used. So this won't be having enough strength and durability. In the case of burned bricks, the bricks are burned in kilns. They're classified as first class, second class, third class, and the fourth class. So whatever the bricks we are used are normally the burned bricks. So we see that there are different classes. First class bricks, so for very high quality brick. Second class, lesser quality compared to the first class, third class, and the fourth class. So these class divisions are done or made based on some properties which are exhibited by the bricks. So we will see what are the properties. The first class brick, they are burnt in kilns and comply with all the good qualities of the brick. So this is one of the superior quality brick. What are the superior qualities required by a brick? So they should not absorb more than 20% of its weight when immersed in cold water for 24 hours. Suppose uh, let's assume that okay, a brick is having a weight of 1 kg, 1000 gram. So when you are putting the brick in a cold water for 24 hours, the weight should not go beyond 1200, because 1000 20 percentage 200, so the value should not go beyond 1200, and the minimum compressive strength of this brick should be 10.5 newton per mm square. So when we are pressing the bricks, that means when the bricks are tested for compression, the compressive strength should not be less than 10.5 newton per mm square, and these are generally used for superior works of the permanent structure. Second class, obviously lesser quality. So you can see here, compared to the previous picture, this is a wood kiln having provisions for the uniform heating of the bricks. So these first class will be done in those kilns. You can see a kiln like this. So here it is not sun dried, but there is a provision of giving heat to the bricks. But this is not uniform way of doing. Uniform, that means the bricks are not provided with the uniform heating. So the quality degrades. So we'll see what is second class. So they are also burned in kilns, so fungus also bad in kilns, but they should not absorb more than 22% of its weight when immersed in cold water for 24 hours. So 20 change to 22% in the case of second class, and strength should not be less than 7. So Previously it was 10, now it's 7. And the shape is slightly irregular, and the bricks can have small hair cracks. So small cracks are permitted for this type of bricks, and they are used at places where brick is coated with the plaster. Okay. Okay, then we will see the third class. So these third class bricks are not burned in kiln. They are burned in the clamps. That means we are putting the log wood and then we are heating it. So as a result, there won't be any uniform heat distribution onto the bricks. The bricks have rough surfaces with irregular or distorted edges. The condition is that they should not absorb water more than 24% of its weight when immersed in cold water for 24 hours. The minimum compressive strength of these bricks should be 3.5. So it was the for the water absorption was 20, 22, 24. Strength changing from 10, 7 point, yeah, sorry, 7 and then 3.5. The bricks should give a dull sound when struck with each other. They are used for temporary structures. Fourth class, that means the lower quality. They are overbent bricks. That means they are bent more than required with irregular shape and dark color. They are used as aggregate for concrete in foundation. That means they are just broken up. That means they are not used as it is. They are broken up and they are used for concrete in foundations, floors, or the roads. So there are so we have already seen that means the compressive strength should be this much for this particular class. So how the tests are done? Let's see the compression testing on the brick. We can see the bricks ready for testing, and a brick you can see in the compression testing machine. So there is a cylinder here. You'll be placing the bricks above that one, and then you will compress from the top or either bottom. So here in this case the top is fixed and you are applying the pressure from the bottom. So we can know at what load or what force the brick breaks, and we can find the compressive strength. So we are placing some wood pieces above and below for uniformly distributing the load to the brick, and also there will be some undulations or some holes in this brick. So those will be for in those areas also, as you're providing a wooden piece, the loads are uniformly distributed. Let's see in detail what are the test criteria. So crushing strength test has to be done according to the Indian Standards 3495 Part 1 1992. First you have to remove the unevenness obtained on the bed faces and immerse in water for 24 hours. So there will be some small cracks or holes here. First to remove the unevenness, it means some projections on the surface, then put it in water. And also if there is some holes, it is also advised to put some cement mortar and then fill the holes. Remove the specimen and drain out surplus moisture at room temperature. Fill the frog and boards with cement mortar in the ratio 1:3. So this filling of the cement mortar should be done after immersing in water and removing the surplus water. So this means when we are ready for testing, we have to fill this cement water. Then store under damp jute for 24 hours and immerse in water for 3 days. So these are the preparatory things for brick testing. Place the specimen with mortar, filled face upwards in compression, testing between two plies of 3 mm thick. I told you why you are placing the wooden piece here. So this is the way of testing. And the compressive strength is the maximum loaded failure divided by the area of the bed face. So there are some classifications of brick based only on the compressive strength also. So this first class, second class, third class, and fourth class were based on different criteria, right? So suppose we are thinking only on the strength. Say suppose there won't be any water absorption chances or direct the water is not absorbed by the brick. Suppose we are plastering or plastering by mortar on the side, there is no chance of water absorption by the bricks. So only we are when we are interested in the compressive strength of the brick, you can classify that based on the uh, compressive strength. So according to the Indian standards, 1077 1992, the minimum compressive strength value is 3.5 Newton per mm square. The bricks with a crushing strength of 7 to 14 are graded as A, thus having above 14 as graded as AA. Then we have seen the compression test, and now we will look into the water absorption. The water absorption is done based on the Indian standards 3495 part 2 1992. First, you dry the specimen in a ventilated oven at a temperature of 105 to 150 degrees Celsius so that all the moisture is removed. Hold the specimen at to room temperature and obtain its weight. So M1 is the dry weight of the brick. Immerse completely the dried specimen in water at 27 plus or minus 2 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. Remove the specimen and wipe out any traces of moisture with any cloth. Complete the weighing within 3 minutes of the um, within 3 minutes uh, after remove the water from the brick, and the difference in weight indicates the amount of water absorbed by the brick. So M2 minus M1 means this is the absorbed brick plus absorbed water weight minus dry weight of the brick divided to the ratio of dry weight will give you the percentage of water absorption. It should not exceed 20 percentage for the dry brick. So because this is a quality criterion for the first class brick. Hardness. Hardness, basically, if you are trying to make a scratch on the brick surface by the fingernail, it should happen. That's the hardness minimum required. If no nail impression is left, the brick is considered hard. Next is the presence of the soluble salt. So you can see here some white powdered uh, salt which are present on the surface of the brick. So this should be avoided. So these are used to find the efflorescence in bricks, which happens due to the presence of soluble salt. The bricks is uh, immersed in water for 24 hours, taken out and dried under the shade. After drying, if a thin layer of white or grey powder is seen on the surface, this is called as a efflorescence. So this white material is called as a efflorescence. If white or grey deposits cover not more than 10% of the surface area, efflorescence is said to be slight. So if it covers uh, up to 50 percentage, efflorescence is slightly moderate, and if it more than 50 percentage, it's very heavy and we have to take care. If there is heavy deposit accompanied by powdering or flaking of the exposed surface, it is very serious. We have seen the shape and size of bricks. For a good quality, we are arranging 20 number of bricks of standard size 19 by 9 by 9, and when we are arranging the bricks in a linear way, that means 20 bricks in linear way, the length should be in the range of 3680 to 3920. That means slight uh, variations are allowed. So 19 into 20 will be the length, right? So those values should be within this limit. Similarly, there are values for the width and height and soundness. So a good quality brick when we are struck together, that should give a clear ringing sound. I already seen for third class brick there should be dull sound. So for a good quality, it should be a clear ringing sound when both are stuck together. Structure. The broken, so the brick is broken and structure is carefully examined. Should be homogeneous, compact and free from any defects such as holes, lumps, etc. The bricks are closely inspected. That's by visual inspection. Just break the brick and you see there is no holes are there inside the bricks and no non-uniformity in the distribution of bricks. So the we'll summarize the various qualities of the good bricks. The bricks should have an uniform copper color. It should be free from cracks, voids, and grits. It should have even surface with sharp and square edges. It should be of standard size. The brick, when it's broken, should have a bright homogeneous structure. The bricks should be sufficiently hard. That means there should be any fingernail impression. The brick should give a clear ringing sound when stuck with each other. Absorption water absorption should not be greater than 20%. And when you are dropping the brick from a height of 1 meter, the brick should not be break. It should not break. Okay. Uh, this is a test on impact, and we have the crushing strength should not be below 3.5 Newton per mm square. So we will stop for today. Thank you.